Words of Elders, Part 18. Tragedy of being alone, the danger of isolation. There is a silent killer that often disguises itself as wisdom. It whispers in your ear after a betrayal, after a heartbreak, after a disappointment. It says, withdraw, disappear, build your wall, trust no one, and many listen. But the elders, those who have walked the rough roads of life, those whose backs have scars and whose eyes carry stories, will tell you this. Walls may keep danger out, but they also lock destiny in. A fortress is not always a symbol of strength. Sometimes it is a monument to fear. And though it may rise high and appear unshakable, its loneliness is its greatest weakness. You cannot lead from behind a wall. You cannot influence what you refuse to touch. And you cannot grow in a place where nothing new enters. There is wisdom in caution, yes, but there is no victory in isolation. A person disconnected from people becomes vulnerable not because they are weak, but because they are alone. Even the strong stumble when they walk without counsel. Even kings fall when they surround themselves with silence. Ask King Solomon, whose wisdom was unmatched, yet he surrounded himself with wives and advisors from foreign lands, eventually drifting into confusion. His fall began when his connections shifted from wise to worldly. Ask the Emperor Qin Shi Huang of China, who feared death so deeply that he isolated himself in pursuit of immortality. Paranoid and alone, he trusted no one, not even those closest to him. In his bid for eternal life, he died prematurely, surrounded by secrets and shadows. Or ask any wounded soul who chose silence over support, only to realize that their quiet fortress became their noisy prison. Isolation shrinks your world. It cuts off feedback, blocks out truth, and eventually muffles even your own inner voice. What begins as self-preservation becomes self-sabotage. There's a lie that says, if I don't get close to anyone, no one can hurt me. But here's the truth. If you don't get close to anyone, no one can help you. Even the wisest need a circle. Even the boldest need a friend. Even the strongest eagle flies best in the currents of the sky, not in the darkness of a cave. Some people isolate because they believe their greatness intimidates others. Others isolate because they were once betrayed by someone they trusted. Both may feel justified, but in the long run, both lose. Because power is not preserved in distance, it is multiplied through strategic connection. The battlefield of life is not won by lone warriors. It's won by those who understand the value of alliances, relationships, and community. You were never meant to walk through fire alone. And the very people you're avoiding may be the ones carrying your next breakthrough. To isolate is to invite distortion. When you're alone for too long, your thoughts echo louder, your doubts grow stronger, and your fears become facts in your mind. You begin to suspect the wrong people, fight the wrong battles, and walk away from the very thing that was meant to bless you. So what should you do? Build relationships, not walls. Build circles, not fortresses. Build trust, not towers. Even if you've been hurt, try again, but this time with wisdom. Use discernment, not distance. Stay visible, stay engaged. Let others see your journey. Let someone in, let someone up. Remember this. The olive tree flourishes in groves, not in isolation. The stars shine brightest in constellations, not scattered alone in the sky. And even the Messiah surrounded himself with 12. Though one betrayed him, the others carried the mission forward. Your future may be locked behind the door you've shut out of fear. Open it. Talk again. Trust again. Team up again. That's how legacies are built, not by those who hide, but by those who rise above the pain of yesterday to embrace the promise of tomorrow. Robert Greene mentioned some examples in his book, 48 Laws of Power. Yi Gaokyo. Gaokyo, a minister in ancient China, surrounded himself with walls and cut himself off from others. Paranoid and afraid of betrayal, he retreated into solitude. His isolation made him blind to the plots against him. He lacked real-time information and loyal allies. Eventually, his enemies found a way to remove him. Lesson: isolation makes you vulnerable. You may avoid immediate threats, but you expose yourself to greater ones because you lack insight, allies, and influence. 2. Frederick the Great. Frederick the Great of Prussia believed that a king should be seen often and be among his people. He lived simply, walked the streets, and engaged directly with citizens and soldiers. He became beloved and respected. His visibility earned him loyalty and made plots against him nearly impossible to execute. Lesson: when you're present and engaged, people feel connected to you, and you stay in control of the social and political environment. 3. Ludovico Sforza. Ludovico Sforza, Duke of Milan, feared enemies and relied on fortress-like defenses. While hiding in his stronghold, he lost touch with the outside world. His isolation led to poor decisions and weakened alliances. When his enemies finally attacked, his physical fortress couldn't save him. Lesson: fortresses provide only the illusion of safety. True security lies in human connections and real-time awareness. 4. Richelieu and La Rochefoucauld. Cardinal Richelieu kept his enemies close and used court life to control and monitor everyone. In contrast, Duke La Rochefoucauld withdrew from palace life, thinking it would shield him. Richelieu flourished by staying at the center of power. La Rochefoucauld faded into political obscurity. Lesson: the palace, like society, is a theater of power. If you retreat from the stage, you lose your voice and relevance. Some people seek the life of a hermit to avoid the corruption or dangers of the world. Yet such a life often leads to irrelevance. Power comes from interaction, not seclusion. Those who isolate become forgotten and powerless, no matter how morally superior or safe they feel. The instinct to withdraw for protection often backfires. Fortresses, both physical and emotional, isolate you from information, allies, and power. Instead, stay engaged, stay visible, and stay informed. The most dangerous place is not among people, but outside their view. Do not confuse solitude with isolation. Solitude is a place of reflection. Isolation is a trap of rejection. One strengthens you, the other starves you. Let the words of the elders sink in. Your calling is bigger than your comfort. Your influence needs interaction. Your power is multiplied through people. Don't let fear of the past rob you of the help in your present. Even kings need counsel. Even warriors need a shield bearer. Even the wise need a whisper from another soul. Let the doors open again. Not all who approach are enemies. Some are the answers you prayed for. Retreating into isolation for safety or control is often a fatal mistake. Being visible, connected, and engaged with people gives you access to information, influence, and protection. Isolation breeds vulnerability, distortion, and eventual downfall. The Holy Book has this to say: 2 are better than 1 because they have a good reward for their labor. 10. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow, but woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he hath not another to help him up. 11. Again, if 2 lie together, then they have heat, but how can one be warm alone? 12. And if one prevail against him, 2 shall withstand him, and a threefold cord is not quickly broken. Words of the elders are words of wisdom.